Call Don now, 682-1270. News Talk 1270 KIML.
News Talk 1270 KIML. Don Carpenter Show. I just want to remind you about the Blue Plate specials at the Prime Rib Restaurant and Wine Cellar. They have a different one every day, 7 days a week for lunch or dinner, and it's always only $9.95. And it's all made from scratch comfort food. Today, of course, is Friday. Today's Blue Plate special, fish and chips. And since we won't be here tomorrow or Sunday, I'll tell you those two. Saturday's Blue Plate special is chopped beefsteak with potato, and Sunday's is chicken parm over pasta. The Prime Rib Restaurant and Wine Cellar, 682-2944. And we have Chris joining us here. Hang on, I'll get the proper way to welcome Chris to the show. Let's see. We'll do this one.
Chris Brintle. Chris Brintle.
Okay. And it's been a while since we've talked about the Washington Redskins, but yesterday the Court of Appeals upheld a decision that I guess the Redskins are going to lose their trademark. Now, that doesn't force them to change their name, but it doesn't get, it removes a lot of the trademark protections they have for their product. This, and I know we've talked about this a million times. This isn't going away, is it?
No, they'll end up changing. This is just like, what is it with Washington? It's like when they changed the Bullets to the Wizards. Well, it's exactly the same thing that's happening, except they were more willing, so it took less time.
Yeah.
But they got this kind of pressure. First off, it really baffles me that the courts would rule like this, because to me, shouldn't they be more protective of a trademark?
You would
it's
think
just
so.
a name, people. I mean, come on.
Well, let's talk a little bit about first the Bullets. I mean, they were originally the Baltimore Bullets, so Washington Wizards. It's alliterative. At least that makes sense. I mean, I know they changed it because Washington has a reputation of being a dangerous town, but at least that one kind of made sense, and they were willing to change it to change their image as a team. They're still terrible, but they were terrible in Baltimore.
Well, they changed it 100% because of the Bullets, though, being offensive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, at least that one kind of made sense. This makes absolutely no sense. The owner isn't willing, yet he's being forced to. And at first I thought Dan Snyder was going to be able to weather this out, that people would just get tired of it, that it would never, they'd just give up and move on to something other, some other outrage. I'm not so sure anymore, because the PC police have gotten so powerful at this point. I mean, when you have the PC police basically telling a couple that runs a cake shop in Oregon that they're going to lose their house if they don't comply, that's what's happening in Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have a lien on their house because they refused to pay the $135,000 shakedown money to a couple that wanted a cake made.
They're going to lose it all over cake.
Yeah, they are going to lose it all.
Well, where are the gay rights groups, by the way? Are all these? Where's the ACLU all the way for these poor people in Oregon? By the way,
the ACLU.
Because you know what? It's one thing if you want to be for gay rights and be for gay marriage, like I am, but shouldn't you be for religious rights too? Well, I mean, shouldn't you? These people, they don't deserve this.
Well, the ACLU,
over a cake.
Yeah, the ACLU has already come out and said we're not going to defend religious rights anymore, at least not for Christians.
Oh, right. Which
they specifically said we're done defending. We're done defending free exercise clause cases for Christians,
and which makes them they're not a rights group anymore.
They haven't
They
been.
used to be pretty consistent.
They haven't been in. They probably, I'd say, at least 20 years, and they admit that over the past 15 years that they've been torn by some of the cases that they fight. They've become a left-wing advocacy group and admit it.
Right, and where they used to be a First Amendment group that didn't care about opinions, now they've turned into a college campus where they only give permits to, if they agree with you, to go protest or something like that.
Oh yeah. And the shame about this thing with the Redskins is, I mean, this is a a multi-billion-dollar business, and Dan Snyder has owned that team for a long time. They're not. There's so much history with that team. I mean, that team has been called that for 70 years, and all of that's going to be trampled. But again, it's all. This isn't even about people being offended anymore. This is about people that want to exercise control over something that they don't like.
Exactly.
And personally destroy anybody who gets in the way. And that's this all goes together. That's why I talk about all these different outrage mobs, because they're all related. They're all on the same team. Every once in a while, they might go fight each other for something, like the gay rights and the Black Lives Matter groups. They might fight against each other every once in a while, but generally they're all on the same side, and that side is to chip away ever so slowly at everything that holds this country together, all of our civil rights. And
the problem with it is, yes, I mean, at one time, if you want to advocate against the name, that's fine. You can do that, but the problem is, like you said, if it continues to chip away, eventually the government will start getting involved and taking away free speech. And by the way, this isn't a liberal thing either. I'm watching Fox News yesterday, and they're talking about this idiot pop star, talking about how she hates America in a donut store, and making that out to be news. First of all, when she's there privately and she doesn't know she's being taped, making that out to be news, and then doing the exact same thing that these same people would say, well, the PC police have run amok on all these other issues, but yet they're doing the exact same thing when they talk about somebody saying they hate America or hate Americans because a huge donut was shown to them. Well, it's the exact same thing. Quit whining about what people say that's controversial. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're conservative. We do the same. Conservatives do the same things. Yeah, and I get sick of it.
Well, a lot of we'll talk about the Ariana Grande thing. That's just sensationalism. They're not trying to get her kicked off her music label or anything like that.
But they label literally. Elizabeth Hasselbeck literally said Ariana Grande hates America. And that's how she led into the story. I mean, that's the same exact thing on the other side.
Yeah, well, see, but nobody's trying to take away, and I mean, I don't see it the same way, because what happens is you have one side saying, oh, well, this person's a bad person. We'll get upset about it. We'll watch the news, and the news talks about it because they have to fill 24 hours worth of stuff. And then you have the other side that has the power of government taking things away from people. I mean, I don't see them on the same level. I mean, it's not even the same ballpark, because you have, well, we'll use the Confederate flag as the example. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's a nothing issue, yet at this point, you have people trying to use the force of government. Yesterday, in the House of Representatives, you had every Democrat in the House of Representatives that had speech time yesterday going up, trying to get something put in a funding bill that would prevent private citizens from putting Confederate flags on Confederate soldiers' graves. Not even government. We're talking about stopping private citizens from doing something. And it's just a little thing, and it had absolutely no chance of succeeding.
But still, the notion.
But I mean, if they could do it, they would do it. If they could completely ban Confederate flags, they would do it.
I agree that from the liberal side, there's more out there as far as limiting free speech and taking away somebody's career. There's more of it. However, when you talk 10 minutes about Ariana Grande and a comment she made at a donut shop, and then people are coming out wanting to boycott her music, that is the same thing. It's the exact same thing.
I don't know.
And conservatives do it, and then they turn around and they say this. Then they turn around and say, "Well, this is PC police run amok." I don't think anybody should be offended. If you don't want to listen to somebody because you're offended by them, don't listen to them.
Yeah, I
have another opinion.
And I really had no idea who this Ariana Grande was. I mean, I'd heard the name. I didn't know she was a singer. I thought she was an actress or something.
Oh, well, I have all of her videos and
and all you have to do
I
is
watch them in slow motion.
All you have to do is just do a little bit of research on who she is. I mean, she grew up in a rich family in Florida. She was on the Disney Channel at age like 12 or something. I mean, she's a spoiled kid like Miley Cyrus.
That's true, but I have a problem with them taking her comments as literal.
Yeah, see,
when she just said it as kind of a tongue-in-cheek joke.
Yeah, well, I mean, they just didn't do their research. That's all. That's all there is with that. I think we might have a call here. News Talk 1270. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, what's up?
You know, I went to war. I lost my leg defending this great country of America because I love America. And the way things are going now, the lady saying that stuff, or girl, like that spoiled brat, maybe I can sue because she said that and it offended me.
Well, now if you...
It's like the Indians suing because Redskins offended.
Yeah, well, now if you were a member of a protected class, you could absolutely sue. That's what's going on right now.
Okay, but since I'm working class, I can't sue.
No, yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you have to, if you were maybe flying a rainbow flag or something, and somebody said something bad to you, you could sue and get $135,000. If they didn't pay, the state of Oregon would take their house.
Yeah, or if a guy comes in my store and wants to buy one of my products, and I say no, they can sue me. But I can't sue them because being gay offends me. Well,
and that's what we've come to.
But, when my leg came off, it just proved how much I love this country, and I love the right that they have the right to say that. They have the right to be offended. They have the right to defend the fact that they're offended. That's why I went to war. If they don't like it, express it. That's our freedom.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, the answer to any kind of problem with free speech is always more free speech, and I think some people forget that.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is what she did isn't a news story.
Oh no, it's not really news. It's just a bunch of lazy newscasters that had nothing better to talk about.
Well, that's just it. Crime is running amok. They're taking our gun rights away because the criminals are killing people, but that's not news, and they're taking away our right to a speedy trial, but that's not news. It's crazy what they define as news and not news.
Oh yeah, well I have seen people complaining that some of these Supreme Court decisions that we shouldn't even be talking about that. I don't know what's more important than that.
Yeah, exactly. Why aren't we talking about what Congress is doing and what the Senate is doing and what the Supreme Court is doing? I mean, that's a newsworthy item, but because it's not on their agenda, they're not going to talk about it. They'd rather talk about some little ditzy brat saying she hates America. Well, she's got enough money. Move to Cuba.
Well, and I think a lot of it is people just like to be mad.
It's ratings.
Yeah, people like to be mad. And thanks for the call. I hate to cut you off, but I got another call here. Yeah, people just like to be mad. They like to see, and nobody will admit it, but being offended at things gets ratings. News Talk 1270, you're on the air.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in and remind everyone about some of the things that have gone on throughout our history that perhaps it seems as if it was sexual harassment, but maybe they just said, oh, your dress looks nice today, and it was some guy that made a comment about the secretary, and of course then there's the lawsuit and there's the sexual harassment. But I'm a blonde, and no one has ever taken up that area where the blondes have consistently been demeaned by the blonde jokes. So I'm thinking that maybe a class action suit, don't you think?
I think you should cash in on that as soon as you can.
Absolutely. And the ranchers that live up near the Montana border, and I know that there's a Montana high school group that calls themselves the Wolves up near that area. Now, those ranchers that are contending with those wolves, they probably should get that name changed, don't you think?
Well, wolves offend me because they eat cattle.
Yes, exactly.
Well, now I will tell you, I have the hashtag for your blonde campaign. It's Blonde Lives Matter.
There you go.
And you can make $1 million easily.
Plus, they can rally at my place if they want.
Yeah,
have all the meetings and all the rallies at my place.
So, bonds out there listening everywhere, form a group and let's go at it.
Yeah, and you can send the redheads my way.
There you go.
Hey, thanks a lot. That's what we've come to. I mean, that really is. I mean, and a certain part of me would love to see everybody just suing everybody for everything. I mean, can you imagine? I'd almost love to see that just to see the results. I mean, it would certainly give me a lot to talk about for a number of years.
I should have been a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too. I'm thinking that too. Okay, what do we have going on in sports?
Well, we have Rider baseball and Blue Jay softball, national news.
Sounds good. We'll see you later. News Talk 1270 KIML.
For interviews, host blogs, and more, check out Basin Radio Network on Facebook. Don Carpenter on News Talk 1270 KIML. If it's sports, we've got it covered. Now with Chris Brentle.
Another road trip for the Riders. I'm